Joining us now is our pal John McLaughlin from upstate New York. He is the pollster for Donald Trump. And he has brand new, just out today, exit polling information for us. First of all, I get a lot of mail. How do you do this? How do you do it? So you polled 1,000 voters earlier this month. How does that go down? Just briefly.
Well, that was between the 4th and the 6th. We did 1,000 voters who voted in the election, either early or on election day. And it's the one poll we can't get wrong because we have voter lists. We call them ahead of time. We know what the results are, and we get to target and weight it by the actual results.
How do you get a voter list? How do you get a voter list?
They exist. They're databases. There's databases of all Americans, consumers, et cetera. But every Secretary of State and every state keeps a voter list. It's updated. There's companies that sell you the data. I have to pay for the samples. So you pay for the samples. The Republican Party uses certain people. They have a company called Data Trust that keeps their data. There's other ones like I360, et cetera. They have every voter in the country. And we know like 5,000 to 7,000 pieces of information on each voter. We have a database.
Okay. So you got 50,
have a model of results.
You got 50 states, but you only have 1,000 recipients. So you get every state in there, or what do you do?
Yes, we do. Some states like Alaska get 1 or 2 calls. That's about it. But you proportion it by the actual vote, by the way it came out. Like you had mentioned that there were 153 million votes so far. There was just under 160 million in 2020. And we know who those voters are. There's 90 million more people that were eligible that still didn't vote, and but they're eligible and they're out there, and so we know who they are too. But Donald Trump won this race decisively.
Okay, and I don't think anybody quibbles with that. I think that is a known fact. Thank God for the country. We didn't want to go through what we went through in 20. Okay, so the first headline, and you correct me if I'm wrong. I'm just going by what our researchers came up with. Is that the primary reason Donald Trump was elected was the high prices in America. People are suffering because of that. Is that true?
Top issue, without a doubt. 4 or 5 voters said they were negatively impacted by it. Half struggling to just get by.
Okay. So if that's the case, why didn't the Democratic Party know that? Because they stayed away from that totally.
They caused it. They caused the inflation.
I know they caused it, but they could have made an excuse that COVID did this and that somebody did that. Putin did it. You know how they are. But they just stayed away from it.
They tried. Remember, she had a plan. They were going to go after price gouging, et cetera, like that. More big socialism.
All right. So they basically punted on that, the Democrats, and people recognized they had no solution, no known solution for this high prices. The second one was the reason that people voted for Kamala Harris wasn't for her, is because they hated Trump.
Right. And that's what our exit polls said, where virtually they were running a negative campaign. She didn't stand for anything. Trump, on the other hand, we were running a campaign. Remember, he was ahead. And when we won the nomination in record style, I mean, it was like bigger than Reagan, bigger than anything else, blowaway nomination. He was ahead of Biden then. And then he made the lead so much bigger that they forced him out. And what he did was he maintained that lead. A week out from the election, I had a conversation with him. I said, Mitt Romney was ahead by a point at this stage in the popular vote. He ended up losing. And Trump told me he's not Mitt Romney. And I said, you just got to make your putts. We've been ahead since the primaries. We're going to go ahead, and you have to just keep on driving it on the issues, reducing inflation, securing the border, lowering crime, ending the endless wars. And he ran on the issues. And his job approval in our post-election survey, which is on our website, McLaughlinOnline.com, he had a 56% positive job approval, only 43 negative. Harris was a -1. Biden was like a -6.
When was that? When was that approval rating? When did you post it?
That was it's on our website now. That's from that.
No, but was that before the vote or after the vote?
That was after the vote. Before the vote, in the battleground states, we had Donald Trump net positive on his job rating, and Harris was a 43 approved, 53 disapproved. So we set up a contrast that Donald Trump could solve these problems, do the job, and she was part of the problem. She was Joe Biden. She was Joe Biden's vice
Yeah,
president.
she couldn't make any progress off him because she doesn't disagree with anything he did. Now, your survey shows abortion was hardly an issue at all in this thing, even though
Well,
the media tried to ramp that up. Folks, 6%, nothing.
right, because Donald Trump stayed in character. I mean, he basically he stood where he stood during the primaries when he was president, et cetera. He was going to leave it up to the states to decide. The Democrats poured probably $1 billion into ads saying we were going to have a national abortion ban. It wasn't true. The voters read through that. Plus, they had other more serious problems that they could see. You know, I said to anyone, if they were undecided on election day, go to the supermarket, go look at your rent, look
Yeah,
at your
sure.
utility bill, look at your mortgage, decide who
Look,
you're voting for.
but no doubt about it. It was the economy that drove it. Now, you were right on in everything that you predicted, all your surveys, all of that. Did Trump thank you? Did he give you a bonus? Did he call and say, "Hey, why don't you and your family go to Tahiti for a couple of weeks on me"? I mean, what did he do?
Well, we haven't spoken lately because I'm not looking for a job. Everybody else,
I
I've
know
got my job. I
everybody's
got my
looking for a
business.
job.
My goal was to make your predictions come true because you were giving them good advice. If you watch the
I
show.
give everybody good advice. I mean, I'm a nonpartisan advice giver, but he sometimes didn't think I gave him good advice because I don't just knee jerk it. You know, I'm not a choir master here, but I followed. You're giving me credit, but I followed your lead in the sense
Mhm.
that you must have been on a half dozen times since September 10th. Okay, and every time you were on, you were very specific, which puts you apart from most of these bloviators that work at the politics. And what you said bore out. I can't. I'm looking at your sheet here on the exit polling, so you must be a swami or something because you hit it.
No, no, we just ask the American voters. We have inside information. If you do the polls in an unbiased fashion, and if you look at what the people are saying, you always talk about the people. When the folks tell us that their top issue is inflation and they're worried about immigration and they're worried about crime and they're worried about wars, and if you've got the candidate that can solve those problems, because that's why Donald Trump was running. He
Sure.
cares deeply about the country. He's patriotic. He wants to go back to the good policies that he had as president, and he's going to do a better job this time
I hope so,
because
but he's got to be a little bit more contemplative before he dives into waters that are going to muddy his agenda. That's just my opinion. But let's get back to you. So you say, okay, it's easy, and you're saying that, but I'm going to after you disappear from our program and we say goodbye, I'm going to run down all the polls that were wrong. Okay, and a lot of them, most of them were wrong.
Mhm.
So if you say it's easy and the folks are, what are these pinheads doing when they got it so wrong? Are they dishonest in your opinion?
By the way, it's not easy. It's you have to be careful how you do it. Statistics is an inexact science. I got an MBA in it. If you're careful and you know what you're doing and you have some experience how to read public opinion, it was right there. But and it was really I'm only as good as the people I work for. And Donald Trump, as you said it, was a historic president. You're going to have to add a whole nother chapter that may be longer at the end of your book.
Well, I'll do
Because
something on it. But he doesn't know, in my opinion, or if he does, he hasn't stated it, how remarkable, that's the word, what he accomplished is in the context of history. I know.
it's right.
Maybe
You're
someday
exactly,
you, me, and him can have some supper and say, do you have any idea what you pulled off here? Now, when you say what he pulled off, it sounds like he's a genius and this and he may be, but it was the folks who did it. But
yes.
nobody has come close in this country or any other country that I can see, all right, to what he accomplished.
You're right.
It's a stunning story.
No, you're exactly right. Because in 2016, I compared him to Andrew Jackson. And he said 1824, said no, 1828. But that was the election where Jackson he beat the establishment, the Republican establishment. He beat the Washington establishment.
Yeah, it'd be
Trump
Quincy
has now
and
beaten
the boys. Right. But it wasn't close to this because Jackson didn't have a hostile media and a hostile uh, infrastructure in Washington, both working against him in dishonest ways. Jackson
Right.
didn't have that because he would have shot them dead. He would have kicked the door into the Tennessee newspaper and just shot all of them if they had done that. All right, John, you're the best. I got to tell you, I got to tell
Thank
my audience, man, if I ever have any need for any poll, you're the guy I'm going to. So congratulations for
you.
all your success. And Trump should be sending you and your family to Tahiti. And I'm going to tell him that.
Well, that's okay. I'll see you next season at a Yankee game.
All right.
So,
See you later. Okay, as promised, we're ranking the polls here. So John was an internal poller. And just understand that. He worked for Trump, and he didn't do public polling. These are the public polls. So the number one is Atlas Intel out of Brazil. We had their CEO on here, dead on. I will always, for the rest of my career, in any kind of a situation, go to Atlas. Second is Rasmussen, very good. Third, making a big leap forward, is Emerson College in Boston. They were pretty accurate. All the rest are pinheads. Bloomberg, Harris, Reuters, Monmouth, which is notoriously terrible, and Marist College, which works for NPR and PBS. They are the paymasters for Marist College. And I suspect that Marist College told them what they wanted to hear because Marist College had Harris winning by 4. You don't make mistakes like that. That has got to be something wrong there. So that's the number. Put them up again. I want everybody to look because there's going to be polling. All right. So you just look at the top 3. Those were the best. And starting with Bloomberg on down to Marist, they were terrible. Okay. So Donald Trump wants to declare a national emergency on immigration, which would give him the authority to do different things. And you declare a national emergency by executive order. So he just signs a piece of paper. It doesn't give him as much authority as you would think. Okay, he's still constrained by Congress and the federal courts. But he wants that to bring attention to the immigration problem. So it would be the National Emergencies Act. And he would sign an executive order, and he would have more power to do quickly what he wants to do. Now, the main thing he wants to do, and why he's signing this executive order, and he will, is use the military to assist Homeland Security to deport undocumented migrants. That's what he wants, the authority he wants. Now, he runs into posse comitatus, he runs into a lot. As soon as he signs that EO, there'll be lawsuits, federal lawsuits. Boom. It'll have to go to the Supreme Court. And I think it'll fast track in there. But that's why he's doing what he's doing. He wants to use the military to assist, not to arrest, but to assist in moving undocumenteds to places from where they will be deported. Sanctuary cities. So Donald Trump could not get it done the first 4 years, denying federal funds to sanctuary cities. Why? He signed an executive order on January 25th, 2017, okay, shortly after he was inaugurated. It was Executive Order 13768. So as soon as he got in the first time around, he signed this executive order enhancing public safety in the interior of the United States to withhold federal grants of sanctuary cities. Immediately, he got sued, and it went to federal court, and a judge, William Orrick, okay, issued a nationwide permanent injunction against blocking funding for sanctuary cities, saying it was unconstitutional. Supreme Court dismissed the case on technicalities. That's going to come back. Trump will try it again. But again, the Supreme Court's going to have to make all of these calls. It's not easy to get this done, but it'll get up there. That'll be a big, big story in early next year. Hey, Bill O'Reilly here. America is at a breaking point. Record inflation, interest rates, debt. The last thing we need is more reckless government spending and higher taxes, and they could happen. But a Harris presidency could bring us into that zone, plus a hit to your retirement savings. So protect your savings with American Hartford Gold. They'll help you secure your retirement by diversifying with physical gold and silver. Start with a simple phone call. They'll guide you through the process, even deliver gold and silver right to your door, or place it directly in your IRA or 401k. Don't wait. These safe haven assets can protect you in an economic crisis. Call or text American Hartford Gold today. Tell them O'Reilly sent you to get up to $15,000 of free silver on qualifying orders. Call 866-501-5201. That's 866-501-5201. Or text BILL to 65532. Again, 866-501-5201. Or text BILL to 65532. Now, I've learned something very interesting today that nobody knows but me, and that the order has gone out for all the Trump acolytes, cabinet people, staffers, tamp it down, no press. They're not going to do anything for a while. Everything is tamped. Smart. Annoying, because I want to get Ramaswamy in particular on this broadcast next week. And he wrote me, I have a good rapport with Vivek. But he didn't say it. He couldn't, but I can read between the lines. So that's interesting. Donald Trump, now I'm going to tell you another story that is misreported, and you have no idea what's going on other than reading and listening to pinheads who are not going to tell you the truth. Number one, because they hate Trump, or number two, because they're too stupid to know the truth. So the headline is, Donald Trump vows to impose 25% tariff on Mexico and Canada. That is true. Here is the backup for that. Quote, the Trump statement. On January 20th, as one of my many first executive orders, I will sign all necessary documents to charge Mexico and Canada 25% tariff on all products coming into the United States and its ridiculous open borders. This tariff will remain in effect until such time as drugs, in particular fentanyl, and all illegal aliens stop this invasion of our country. Both Mexico and Canada have the absolute right and power to easily solve this long simmering problem, unquote. Okay. So the usual Trump hyperbole. They don't have total power to stop it, but certainly Ottawa and Mexico City could help us stop it. Now, why is he doing this? Because this is a negotiating tool. Mexico, Trump can destroy their economy. Boom. Kind of a little harder, but damage, whoa. So what Trump's going to do through his emissaries, and I assume Marco Rubio's new Secretary of State will be involved, is say, look, here's what you got to do to tamp down on people and drugs coming into the United States. And we'll dictate what little Justin Trudeau does in Ottawa and what Claudia Sheinbaum, the new Mexican president, does down there. We'll tell them what to do. Trump did this last time with Obrador. He said, look, you got to put your army on the north with us and Guatemalan border in the south, and you got to stop the migrants from coming in through the caravans. And Obrador had to, or Trump would have wiped out their economy. He's going to do exactly the same thing. That's why the threat. It's never going to come to that. Both Canada and Mexico City are going to go, okay, we'll do what you say. They will. You wait and see. Now, if you had heard that story analyzed that way, please tell me where. Bill at BillO'Reilly.com, Bill at BillO'Reilly.com, name and town. Tell me where you heard that analysis if you had heard it somewhere else. Favorability for Donald Trump, Emerson College poll. Emerson was pretty good in the election polling. 1,000 U.S. registered voters. By the way, it's a fine. It's a fine. I will pay it. Can't say, by the way. Emerson is in Boston. It's a media school, specialized in media. Good school. All right, 1,000 U.S. registered voters. Here is the question. Do you have a favorable or unfavorable view of Donald Trump? Favorable 54%, up from 48 pre-election, and unfavorable 46. So Trump has got some wind at his back, right? Second question, how surprised, if at all, worry about the results of the 24 presidential election. Surprise 46, not surprise 54. Now, the reason the favorability numbers are up is because the stock market is up in 3 weeks, 7%. The Dow. So people are making money. I don't know whether it'll continue. Nobody knows. But people start making money, favorability rises. All right, the media. We mentioned that the media behind the progressives, probably more important than even Soros. And I'd have to go over it again. Let's start with cable TV. So you got 2 networks devoted to destroying Donald Trump, MSNBC and CNN. And they're both on the ropes. Nobody's watching them now. The first 3 quarters of this year, cable in general, all cable, lost 5 million subscribers. Last year, 23, they lost 5 million subscribers. I'm sorry. First 3 quarters of this year, 6 million. Last year, 5, 22, 5. 16 million in 2 years. Americans said no cable. I don't pay the $200 a month. I'm going to go someplace else. Okay. Where are they going? They're going to YouTube and other places like YouTube, but YouTube is the big dog. So let me prove it to you. Since I started promoting the Bill O'Reilly YouTube channel, all right, that was 3 months ago, 800,000 subscribers. 800,000. And we'll hit 1 million, and then we'll go on to 2 million. Because it's easy. Go to YouTube, you can see what segments we have, my commentaries. I'm going to do a new one tonight for Thanksgiving. Much easier. And you already have it on your phone. You're not paying for it. The Bill O'Reilly YouTube channel is free. Okay? So if you go to youtube.com/Bill O'Reilly, you get what we have. And we have a lot of really great stuff there. That's what's wiping out the cable news industry. And it's just not YouTube alone. There's a lot of different places you can get. Instagram, you know what it is. Now, on the network front, they have lost total, all 3 of them, 37% of their audience in the last 5 years. Unsustainable. And is anybody who voted for Donald Trump, anybody, all right, what did Trump get now? 70-something million votes. One person who voted for Donald Trump have a favorable view of CBS, NBC, and ABC? One? No. They alienated 75 million Americans. Boom, out of the jump. Adults over 18. So they're done. They're finished. And nobody's coming back. See, this is not coming back. Technology is giving Americans the individual power to access information for a much lower cost than they used to pay. You'd have to be, I have to keep my cable thing because I've got to have access to everything to, understand. But most people I know are dumping it or going someplace else. So it's a huge shift. Final component of this, the people on television and in the movies, boy, they've hurt themselves. Whoa. I mean, it's okay if you wanted to support Joe Biden or Kamala Harris, okay. But to be obnoxious about it, that's not okay. You're going to make enemies. Roll the tape.
Let's be honest, it was a terrible night last night. It was a terrible night for women, for children, for the hundreds of thousands of hardworking immigrants who make this country go, for healthcare, for our climate, for science, for journalism, for justice, for free speech.
The majority has spoken, and they said they don't care that much about democracy. And I want to take a moment to congratulate Kamala Harris and Tim Walz on running an amazing 107-day campaign.
Now we really see America. We really see what America is all about, and it's frightening.
Now, Are they helping themselves in any way? No. People watching, they go, this is unfair, and we don't really want to hear from you again. It's so self-destructive for careers. I'll have a few more. Rob Reiner, Meathead on All in the Family, very talented director. The guy is very good if you look at his movies. Here's what he tweeted. Now that America has elected a convicted felon with authoritarian proclivities, I fear democracy's return won't be anytime soon. Don't worry about it, Rob. You'll still be able to spout anything you want to spout out there. And if you're not, I'll come out and help you. All right, John Cusack, the actor, quote, fact that the country would choose to destroy itself by voting in a convicted felon rapist and Nazi is a sign of deep nihilism, to put it mildly. So Cusack, his career is over. Are you going to go see a movie that he's in? No, you're not. And finally, Madonna, oh my God. Quote, trying to get my head around why a convicted felon rapist, bigot, chosen to lead our country because he's good for the economy. Well, that might be because people don't have $100 million like you, lady. And they are struggling to raise their children. That might be the reason, right? I'm picking on them because they deserve to be picked on. Folks, another major retailer canceled their order from MyPillow, meaning their loss is your gain. MyPillow now offering their entire classic collection at wholesale prices. Listen to these deals. Classic MyPillows, just $14.88. Queen size MyPillows, $18.88. Even better, the king sizes are just $1 more. So why not upgrade? Plus body pillows, $29.88. Multi-use MyPillows, $9.88. Truly the lowest prices ever. And while we know MyPillow products come with a 10-year warranty, they're now extending their 60-day money-back guarantee all the way to March 1st. That's right, orders placed between now and December 25th, Christmas, will have 60-day money-back guarantees extended through March 1st, 2025. So please go to mypillow.com, use the promo code BILL, or you can call 1-800-869-0298. Take advantage of wholesale pricing for the first time ever and free shipping on orders over $75. America's strength isn't just built, it's worn. For those who put in the hours and get things done, G-Defy shoes are made for you. G-Defy's patented Verso Shock technology literally engineers comfort. Every step you take, G-Defy shoes align your body, improve your posture, and absorb harmful shocks from the ground up with trampoline-like energy. They are designed for hard workers, parents, and those who stand tall regardless. With Verso Shock technology that absorbs shock, reduces pain, lessens fatigue, G-Defies our commitment to American innovation. Look, America was built on hard work. We all know that. Determination, resilience, and so were G-Defy shoes. So please go to gdefy.com, use code BILL for $20 off your pair of shoes. Strong foundations start with solid steps, so visit gdefy.com, use code BILL for $20 off all orders over $100. G-Defy, built for the backbone of America, built for you. Oprah, it wasn't $1 million that she got from Kamala Harris, her company. It's $2.5 million, according to the New York Times, the New York Times. So the Washington Examiner broke the story that it was $1 million. New York Times said, no, it's $2.5 million. How do they know that? I don't know. Do I believe it? Yeah, I do. Oprah, $2.5 million for what? So the Federal Election Commission got to get involved here. You can't be spreading that kind of money around, giving it to Oprah's company without any explanation. And Harris gave $500,000 to Al Sharpton, who works for NBC News on MSNBC, and Sharpton does a cupcake interview with her. And NBC won't comment. What? What? Sharp is a known grifter, always has been. So again, the Federal Election Commission under Trump, they got to go in and look at this. Woof. I mean, in Sharp, the thing's just outrageous. Hey, here's $500,000 to your little National Action Committee, whatever it is, and then you do an interview with Kamala. And if you watch it, it's ridiculous. Saturday Night Live viewership down big. All right, the episode after the election drew just over 4 million people, down 33% from the previous week. So nobody watched it because all people who watch Saturday Night Live are liberals and they were too depressed to watch it. SNL lost 25% of its audience so far this season compared to 2020. You know, again, when you go into all your audiences of a certain mindset, there's danger. I have to say that this Saturday, SNL's Weekend Update was very funny. The woman who played the squirrel lady knocked me out. I laughed out loud. So Che and Joust, they're talented guys. They do the Weekend Update. MSNBC's ratings, they had their lowest rated Wednesday in 8 years, right after the vote. They've dropped 43% in prime time since Trump was elected. 43%. Ooh. Smart Life. So there is a sample, Gallup, about what Americans are going to spend this Christmas and Hanukkah. So they come to the conclusion that Americans are going to spend $1,014. I guess $1,000 and then 14 is for tips. I don't know. All right, this is up. No, Americans say 20% of Americans say they're going to spend more than last year. 52% say they're going to same, 25% less. I think retail sales this year are going to be down, but on the internet, they may be up a little bit because you get really good deals on the internet. But it's not going to be a blowout. Thank you for watching the No Spin News. To watch the full episode anytime on BillO'Reilly.com, please sign up to become a premium or concierge member. Visit BillO'Reilly.com to sign up and start watching today.